Hello everyone, Chief Canuck here, and hope you guys are having a good day. We're going to be talking about this news from this tweet that you see right on screen here, and the blog post that accompanied it. We're doing a little bit of a live stream setup so we can get the video out to you sooner than later. Otherwise, if I did my script and the big editing, may take another day or two. So I thought maybe this would expedite the process. So I hope you guys don't mind. Maybe you guys would prefer some more of these, a little bit more off-the-cuff type videos. But let's go right into it. The big news: Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play, and it will support 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X. That is amazing news. Okay, let's just address the frames per second, get that out of the way, because that's kind of minor news. That's awesome. That's more than I was expecting to come out of the Xbox Series X. I just hope that doesn't come to a detriment to some visuals. If it's downgraded a little bit in multiplayer, we'll have to wait and find out, as the case with all of this information in regards to any upcoming game. We have to wait to find out, but still great news. This sounds like the hardware is a bit more powerful than I was anticipating, which is great. So let's go into the other news though. Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play. Just let that sink in. That means there's going to be so many people playing this game. This is going to be unbelievable. The population is going to be through the roof, hopefully. That means nobody has an excuse not to try and play it, because Halo Infinite is coming to PC as well. It's on Steam. There's a Steam page. It's going to be coming to Windows Store as well. It's in Xbox Game Pass, Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass for PC, like you name it, it's there. But also it's going to be free to play, the multiplayer. Oh my lord. Of course, once you let that sink in, that probably means that Halo Infinite will have a lot of microtransactions. But I know, before you spam this button with dislikes, know that they have said that there will be no real-life currency loot boxes in this game. So the real-life RNG won't exist. There may still be in-game currency RNG, but there could also still be real-life microtransactions, but more direct purchases. We'll have to wait and find out. I'm totally okay with that, as long as it's not like they're selling a power weapon. If it's cosmetics, I'm fine with that. Let them have that. They need to find a way to make money, because games have costed $60, like the standard $60 price tag just doesn't cut it anymore. Back in the day when that was the case, the game shipped, and that's the way it shipped. That's the way it was. These games are ever evolving, and the way they're advertising Halo, and we saw Halo 5 do this with the monthly updates, how it just kept on changing, things kept being added. Halo Infinite's obviously gonna have this long life cycle where content keeps being added to it. You gotta pay the bills. So unfortunately, this is a real world. You gotta pay the bills. So there's gonna be some form of microtransactions. To what degree, we don't know. We'll have to, once again, wait to find out. I have a feeling, though, with what we're seeing with the MCC, we might have something similar to that. That those season points, stuff like that, challenges and stuff like that, those type of skins could give you kind of an idea of maybe some sort of battle pass-like system with their season points could be used to entice people to buy certain things cosmetical-wise, or it could be used to incentivize players to then purchase the campaign, because the campaign is still going to cost money. What price tag is it going to have? I don't know, but I think it's safe to assume it will have the standard $60 price tag, even though multiplayer may be free to play. Not maybe, it is free to play. So perhaps with those different tabs that we see with these challenges with MCC, we could see rewards from the campaign side of things that could go into the multiplayer. That would be so awesome. It's been too long since we've had rewards for completing the game on a certain difficulty during a certain thing in the campaign, doing lasso or something like that, and have some sort of cosmetic as a reward that you can use in multiplayer. If there's something like that, that would definitely entice people to spend money and buy the campaign. That could be their way of getting money. But I have a feeling there's still going to be some sort of microtransactions. I just know it. It's going to be inevitable. That's the world we live in. But still, free to play, that is massive. This is going to be the biggest Halo game out there. The table has been set. This is going to be the biggest Halo game out there. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what the population's going to look like. Now that's enough about this tweet. Let's look at the blog post that did address some certain things from the campaign demo that we saw during the game showcase, as well as other frequently asked questions. Some of them I did cover in my breakdown video. If you haven't checked that out, it's a 22-minute long breakdown video. We almost went over every single freaking frame in that 8-minute demo. I think I've spotted some things that other people didn't talk about, so I highly suggest you check that out. But of course, this is a bit more updated, this video, about some information. So let's jump into that blog post now. So in this blog post, right away at the top, we have 343's response to the bad graphics notion and news and article headlines that have been shared across the internet. I know my initial reaction to the campaign demo was, oh my goodness, everything looks so good. And then once the chief stepped out, I went, oh, it's kind of washed out and plasticky. I'm hoping that's just the lighting, and obviously it being an early build that they're going to keep working on it. And that does seem to be the case. We're going to look at their official statement here. Unisheck did post this blog article. So, questions about the graphics and visuals. First, we want to acknowledge that yes, we've heard the feedback coming from parts of the community regarding the visuals and the Halo Infinite campaign demo. While we see and hear far more positive than negative, we do want to share a bit more context. From our perspective, there are two key areas being debated around the community: overall art style and visual fidelity. Based on our learnings from Halo 4 and Halo 5 and Halo Wars 2, along with the strong community feedback, they do listen to us online. Keep it constructive and they will be more responsive to that. We have decided to shift towards the legacy aesthetics that define the original trilogy. This I'm excited for. This is what I liked when they first showed off this reveal. A bit more of a classic look, less busy designs, still Halo-esque, not cartoony, just a little bit more vibrant, more simplistic, easy to identify as well. Looking at Halo 5, there were so many armor sets that just went, I don't know what that is off the cuff, as somebody ran across your screen. Way too much. Things need to be more distinctive, and I think that's what this classic art style is going to accomplish. So they go back to say, with Halo Infinite, we're returning to a more classic art style, which was a key message going back to the very first reveal that garnered enthusiastic and positive responses. You got that from me. This translates to a more vibrant palette. Already talked about that. Cleaner models. Everything does look more distinctive and cleaner. And objects with less noise, less crazy details, kind of just more of a basic design. Though it doesn't mean less detail, while we appreciate this may not be everyone's personal preference, we stand by this decision and are happy to see it resonating with so many fans around the world. So in regards to less detail, I feel like maybe their demo just didn't have the best lighting situation. It felt like a majority of the demo, the sun was behind the Master Chief. And with their new lighting system that's in this game, it's not pre-baked into the weapons and models. Things are being rendered on the fly. We had the sun shining directly on something and covering a lot of detail. With the campaign trailer video that was posted in a different video, we had different camera angles and we had the sun in front of the chief and we got to see more detail on certain weapons. So it just all depended on where the lighting was. So hopefully they kind of fix that and allow the details to pop a little bit more. I feel like they might need to add some more details pre-baked into some weapons and then allow the lighting to, cover it or illuminate it or add shadows, etc. There needs to be something, because I felt like that assault rifle was like, ooh, that's super clean, like brand new, took the plastic wrapper off of it. Like, there needs to be a little bit more wear and tear on this. Not too much, just a little bit. But again, hopefully this was maybe just a result of working from home, watching a live stream broadcast. Nobody had hands-on experience sitting down in front of the PC or the console that was playing this. There was no behind-the-scenes demos. Everything was remote. And so, of course, things don't look as good. Looking back at the video that they posted afterwards, the full 4K 60 FPS footage, it looked a bit better, but of course, it's still being broadcasted through the internet and YouTube's got crazy compression. Back to the blog post, they say the second theme being discussed involves visual fidelity. Negative feedback in this area includes comments around characters and objects appearing flat, simplistic, and plastic-like. Lighting feeling dull and flat and object popping. I acknowledged that during my breakdown. We saw clouds pop in, shadows popping in and out. Hopefully that's being worked on rather. We've read your comments, we've seen the home-end examples of retouched content, and yes, we've heard the Digital Foundry assessments. You should check that out, by the way. I'll put a link down below in the description. Those guys are super technical. In many ways, we are in agreement here. We do have work to do to address some of these areas and raise the level of fidelity and overall presentation for the final game. The build used to run the campaign demo was a work in progress from several weeks ago, with a variety of graphical elements and game systems still being finished and polished. So, not many months ago, like some rumors, I maybe thought a month or two, but we're getting several weeks. So, could be more than a month, month and a half, something like that. Several weeks ago is how long ago this build was. And of course, they've kept working on the game while this demo, which is a snapshot of a point in time, was used to make this demo. While some of the feedback was expected and speaks to areas already in progress, other aspects of the feedback we have brought new opportunities and considerations to light that the team is taking very seriously and working to assess. So of course, constructive feedback has brought new light to them on certain aspects. What that may be, again, we'll have to wait and find out, but it's good that they're hearing that and making some changes. We don't have firm answers or outcomes to share yet, but the team is working as quickly as possible and plans to address some of the feedback around detail, clarity, and overall fidelity. The team is committed and focused on making sure we have a beautiful world for players to explore when we launch. Sounds good to me. The next one, which is kind of something I did touch on in the breakdown as well, but I'll go over it again. What's going on with the multiplayer beta and flighting? Basically, you can blame the pandemic. COVID-19, working from home, they're not where they expected to be this time of the year. And so we may not get a beta, we may not get community flighting because this game's coming out in a couple months and that just may not be feasible. Of course, I totally get that nobody expected the pandemic. It's a little unfortunate, but I hope that they find a way to get some sort of beta flighting out there so we can provide feedback before launch. And they seem hopeful, but from all indications, it may not happen. Now we have a bit of a story FAQ question, and it covers a lot of it. Of course, what happened to Cortana, the Created, Blue Team, Fire Team Osiris, Lasky, Unity, Infinity, Halsey, Arbiter, Atriox, and what is Harbinger? So that person just went crazy, holy verbal diarrhea. Anyways, Unishek says, last week we showed a mission that takes place several hours into the campaign, already covered that, and during that conclusion of the small slice, we introduced War Chief Escharum, who defeated the UNSC forces at the ring and is eager for his next challenge. To see what led up to that moment and what comes after, you'll need to play Halo Infinite. So basically, play the game, it'll tell the story of some of those questions. To how much detail, we'll find out. Obviously, there's a gap between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, and we need to figure that out. So Halo Infinite is going to tell some, if not all of that, is what we've gathered from this blog post and interviews and what Chris Lee has said. How do you pronounce the enemy's name? The War Chief, Escharum. I've already said that. I had to find someone else's pronunciation when I made my breakdown because I was like, I don't know how to say this. And thank goodness I found an interviewer that pronounced it Escharum. Will we get a chance to play the gameplay demo that they showed us? No. We have to wait to when the game launches, unfortunately. Now, this is a big one because I know one of the talking points that came out of many content creators' interviews with 343 Industries was that how much can we explore on this ring? Because it is an open world style game. And they kind of gave the answer of, oh, if you see that, you can go there. And I immediately went, oh God, this is reminding me of Bungie in Destiny 1, where that was like a flat out frickin' lie. Sounds like they're aware of that. I hope they were, but because their answer to that and what we got from some 343 interviews was that, you know, in regards to are there kill barriers or return to battlefield zones in the campaign because it is an open world, they said, since we want to allow players to explore and get creative with their engagements, we've tried to reduce these as much as possible in Halo Infinite. There will always be some exceptions, but usually, if you can see it, you should be able to go there. I can take that. That's not a, you can see it and you can go there. It's, give it a shot. you might be able to. It sounds like you should be able to. There might be some parts where you can't though, and that's fine by me. Also, what was tweeted out by 343 employee after the gameplay demo, and I didn't get a chance to cover during my breakdown because it happened afterwards, but the FAQ brings it up. What about split screen and co-op? Campaign will support 2-player split screen and 4-player co-op. So 2 people locally and 2 people anywhere else can join. So you can have 3 people join you digitally, or another person sit next to you and 2 people join from online. That's how it's going to work. That's good to hear. Is there a battle rifle in Halo Infinite? I covered it in my gameplay breakdown. It's the BR-75 for those lore nerds who wants to know. Now this one is going to be quite decisive. IGN said that the Bulldog shotgun and the Sidekick handgun were replacing what we commonly would call the classic shotgun and pistol, and that is the case. That is what they've told us in this frequently asked questions post right here. So we're excited to build on Halo's legacy sandbox while also introducing new components to further evolve and expand gameplay experiences. The MK50 Sidekick and the CQS-48 Bulldog are brand new weapons that bring something different for players to sink their teeth into. The Sidekick is a true sidearm pistol that is lightning fast to draw and fire. Sounds like the gunfighter Magnum from Halo 5, so something like that. Truly excelling as a reliable backup when your primary weapon is depleted. That sounds cool to me, but it doesn't look like the traditional Halo pistol, but that's okay. Compared to previous titles, this weapon is closest to Halo 2's version of the Magnum. I've never been a big fan of Halo 2's Magnum. It felt like so weak. I hope it's slightly better in that regard. But of course, I'm going to hold my reservations until I try it myself. Now on to the shotgun, which is where I feel like I'm like, we're repeating the Spanker rocket launcher situation for Halo 5 again. As they go on to say in this blog post, the Bulldog is a pump action shotgun that is punchy, decently accurate, trading slightly lower damage, 12 gauge versus 8 gauge, for a much higher rate of fire. Players will be better equipped to dispatch multiple targets quickly, and the Bulldog provides more playstyle opportunities for shotgun aficionados. There are additional variants of each of these, but the classic Magnum and tactical shotgun aren't currently in Halo Infinite. See, I'm not too crazy about that, at least on the shotgun side of things. We've seen so many different Magnums, pistols, whatever you want to call them, in Halo, that I feel like there's a bit of an identity crisis of what is a classic Magnum. I think really it's just the look of it is what a lot of people don't like. I can totally see that. It seems like a standard looking pistol that you would see nowadays, more or less. Not real sci-fi Halo-like. So I can see that. But where the shotgun is, it behaves differently, and there's no replacement for it, seemingly. So if this was an additional shotgun, I'd be fine with that. But this, closed corner, wait around the corner with a shotgun, sounds like it's not going to be there at the launch of Halo Infinite. Our traditional tactical shotgun is not going to be there. But they do go on to say, as we look beyond launch, we have robust plans to continue evolving the game, which will include further additions to Halo Infinite Sandbox. So sounds just like Halo 5. So hopefully what we call the classic shotgun and classic Magnum for people that want the more classic style could be brought to Halo Infinite at a later time. Hopefully sooner than later. It just feels like we're repeating the Spanker situation from Halo 5 all over again. We have a game that's trying to go back to the classic art style and roots, paying homage to Halo Combat Evolve, a spiritual reboot, and then you ixnay like the iconic looks of some of these weapons and completely change the playstyle of a shotgun. I don't know. I am a fan of the touch-ups that I've seen online where they just added glowing markers on the iron sights. That made it look more Halo than not. If we could maybe just have that as a happy medium for now, that'd be great. Those iconic, green, blue, or red, or whichever version of Halo shotgun that you like for those markers on the iron sights. I feel like that'd be great to add. It makes it just look slightly more Halo. That I can live with, I guess. It's not the end of the world, though. They say, we understand some players won't be thrilled over aspects of different pistols and shotguns, but we encourage you to keep an open mind, and we look forward to everyone getting hands-on perspective with these new weapons when the time comes. So, again, I'm going to save some reservations, but the visual look on some of these and the behavior of the shotgun being replacing what we know as the classic shotgun that's been in every Halo game feels odd. I covered this in my gameplay demo breakdown, was how will the new grapple hook work in multiplayer. Equipment items like the grapple shot, which is the official name of it, function differently in multiplayer. As we saw in the campaign demo, the grapple shot ability recharged after you used it. Certain things are single use, but in multiplayer, they'll be available as items that can be picked up on the map, and I think it's safe to assume that those will be single use in multiplayer. So we've saw the tweet that 120 frames per second is the target for Xbox Series X on multiplayer. For the campaign, 4K 60 FPS is their target for the campaign. That's awesome. Big, expansive open world, 4K solid 60 FPS. I can live with that. And of course, as PC players expect, there'll be plenty of settings that you can tweak to create the experience you want, and you can probably push it a little bit further than what the Xbox Series X can do. So of course, speaking of PC, Halo Infinite is coming to Steam. Already talked about that. So Steam, Windows Store, Game Pass, you name it, Xbox Series X and Xbox One consoles. It's coming to all of them. And multiplayer is free to play. I still can't get over that. I talked about this during my gameplay demo breakdown, but of course I'll just reiterate it. Gameplay difficulty settings such as easy, normal, heroic, and legendary still exist in the expansive campaign. You choose them in the menu before you begin your adventure. What about multiplayer, Forge, theater, ranking system, esports, and everything else? Well, Chris Lee already told us that multiplayer will be revealed in the coming months. And of course, we have limited time, so maybe it's this month, maybe it's September. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Forge, we already know that Return in Forge will be coming, and they have very exciting plans for their esports. Of course, this was all focused on campaign. How's Craig? If you're unfamiliar with Craig, you need to get on the internet. They're embracing the meme wholeheartedly, and I love that. Seeing some really amazing Craig memes. I would love to see a Craig Easter egg in Halo Infinite after that. And that's it for this frequently asked question blog post and update. But let's quickly go over some of the long-running lists of the hashtag confirm aspects of Halo Infinite. In-universe timing, and follows Master Chief's story sometime after Halo 5 Guardians conclusion. This is Halo 6. It's Halo Infinite. They just dropped the numbers. There just happens to be a gap between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, and we'll have to find out through Halo Infinite what happened in between, what brought us here. They have a pro team. They've assembled an internal pro team for Halo Infinite, just like for Halo 5. Split screen, yes, split screen is a thing. We talked about that already. LAN, Halo Infinite will support LAN, which is awesome. Back in Black, black undersuits will be in the game. Oh, that's so good. Microtransactions, we talked about that at the beginning of this video. Halo Infinite will not include real money loot boxes. There's still a chance of like in-game currency loot boxes or direct buy with real money. We'll have to wait and see. Is there going to be some sort of battle pass like system that we see in Master Chief Collection? Again, we'll have to wait and see. But I feel like the Master Chief Collection is a good indicator of what we can maybe expect to see. Player customization. If you like the level of armor customization options in Halo Reach, you'll be pleased. So it sounds like we will get individual armor customization options. SR-152, players who hit Spartan rank 152 in Halo 5 Guardians, first of all, go outside. That's crazy. You'll receive a token of appreciation in Halo Infinite. I probably won't reach SR-152, so enjoy that for those who have. Let me know in the comments if you have reached SR-152. I hope it's worthwhile, whatever your token is. And Forge, like we mentioned, their famous Forge editing tool will be in Halo Infinite, and we'll have undo and redo buttons, which is a first for Forge. That is really cool. And with that, that's the breakdown of this blog post. Of course, if you're interested in anything I talked about, sources are always down below in the description. What do you guys think? Free to play, their graphical stance. I feel like, yes, more detail needs to be shown. Lighting system seriously needs to be worked on. Certain aspects like making guns look more Halo, like just adding little, colors on the iron sights can go a long way. That's about it. I'm still very excited. These are very minor nitpicks. I really have some faith that things are gonna be good with this launch. A lot is riding on this. And with free-to-play multiplayer, I feel like it's going to bring a lot to this game and bring back Halo to this community-driven experience where you have like the Griff Ball, the Foragers, the Cussing Games people, the MLG people, like, they curate and make Halo how they want it to be. And with free to play, I feel like this game is gonna be awesome. And I hope we're gonna have so many options to customize Halo Infinite and make it our own. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit rambly, a little bit off the cuff. Hope you enjoyed it though. My name's Chief Canuck. If you hit that like button, it'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.